When we talk about fasting, most people think it means complete deprivation, nothing but water and sheer willpower. But what if I told you that you can nourish your body without disrupting the incredible biological benefits of fasting? Yes, there are certain foods, smart, strategic, and metabolically gentle, that won't spike your insulin, won't disrupt autophagy, and won't kick you out of that beautiful, fat-burning state your body worked so hard to achieve. Fasting is one of the most powerful biological tools we have to restore balance in the body, and at the heart of its benefits lies something called metabolic flexibility. This is the ability of your body to efficiently switch between burning carbohydrates and fats for fuel, depending on what's available. Unfortunately, many people today have lost this ability due to constant eating, high-sugar diets, and a reliance on processed foods that keep insulin levels elevated throughout the day. When the body becomes accustomed to having a steady stream of glucose, it forgets how to tap into fat stores. Fasting retrains the body to restore this flexibility, forcing a return to the natural rhythm of feeding and fasting that our ancestors evolved with. When you fast, your body transitions through several metabolic stages. Initially, it burns glucose, the simplest form of energy. But as glucose levels begin to drop, the body starts breaking down glycogen, a stored form of carbohydrate in the liver and muscles. Once glycogen stores are depleted, something remarkable happens. Your body begins mobilizing fat stores and converting them into ketones, an incredibly efficient and stable fuel source for both body and brain. This metabolic shift doesn't just fuel you during a fast. It reprograms your metabolism to become more efficient at using fat as energy, even when you're eating again. Metabolic flexibility is more than just an energy adaptation. It's a foundation for long-term health. It reduces inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, and protects against metabolic diseases such as insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. When the body can seamlessly shift between fuel sources, it prevents energy crashes, cravings, and mood swings. People who regularly practice fasting often notice a sense of mental clarity, improved focus, and steady energy, all of which stem from this renewed ability to access stored fuel without constant dependence on external calories. At the cellular level, fasting triggers processes that go far beyond simple calorie restriction. It activates pathways that promote autophagy, the body's internal recycling system, where damaged cells and proteins are broken down and repurposed. This cellular cleanup reduces oxidative stress and enhances mitochondrial function, allowing cells to operate more efficiently. The mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouses of the cell, thrive under mild stress, and fasting provides exactly that. By stimulating mild stress, the body becomes stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to handle future metabolic challenges. Restoring metabolic flexibility through fasting also has profound hormonal effects. Insulin levels drop, which signals the body to start burning fat. Growth hormone rises, preserving lean muscle mass and supporting tissue repair. The sensitivity of key metabolic hormones, such as leptin and ghrelin, improves, helping the brain accurately sense hunger and fullness. This hormonal balance is essential for maintaining a healthy weight and preventing overeating. Ultimately, the importance of fasting and promoting metabolic flexibility cannot be overstated. It's not about starving the body, it's about teaching it to become efficient, resilient, and adaptable once again. By restoring this natural balance, fasting reconnects us to a more primal rhythm, one where energy, focus, and vitality flow effortlessly because the body remembers how to thrive even in the absence of constant food intake. One of the biggest barriers people face when starting fasting isn't hunger, it's confusion. There are countless misconceptions about what truly breaks a fast, and many of them come from a misunderstanding of how the body actually responds to food at the hormonal and cellular level. People often assume that anything you consume automatically stops the fasting process, but the truth is more nuanced. The body doesn't operate in black and white. It responds to degrees of stimulation, especially when it comes to insulin and metabolic signaling. Understanding these nuances can completely transform the fasting experience, allowing you to fast more effectively while still maintaining comfort and mental clarity. The most common misconception is that consuming even a small amount of calories will immediately break a fast. However, fasting isn't just about calories. It's primarily about what happens inside your body when you eat. The key factor that determines whether your fast is broken isn't the calorie count, but the insulin response triggered by what you consume. Insulin is the hormone responsible for transporting glucose into cells, and when it's elevated, it halts fat burning and slows autophagy. Therefore, if a certain food or drink triggers little to no insulin release, your body can remain in a fasting state, continuing to burn fat and repair cells even though you've consumed something. Another common myth is that fasting means you can only consume water. While pure water fasting has its place, research and experience have shown that certain low-calorie, low-insulin foods and beverages, like black coffee, green tea, and healthy fats, such as MCT oil, can be consumed without significantly disrupting the benefits of fasting. These items help sustain energy, suppress hunger, and maintain focus without causing a measurable insulin spike. This understanding helps people fast longer, more comfortably, and with less stress on the body and mind. Some also believe that consuming any protein or fat automatically breaks a fast, but again, it depends on context. Protein can stimulate insulin to some extent, but the effect varies by amount and source. Fats, on the other hand, have an extremely low impact on insulin and blood sugar, making them far more fasting-friendly. The misconception arises from viewing fasting purely through the lens of eating or not eating, rather than understanding the deeper physiological processes at work. The goal isn't rigid deprivation. It's maintaining the internal environment that allows fat burning, hormonal balance, and cellular repair to continue unhindered. These misconceptions can lead to frustration, inconsistency, and even guilt. Many people think they've failed their fast when they haven't actually disrupted the biological benefits at all. This misunderstanding often causes them to quit or to approach fasting with unnecessary rigidity, missing the opportunity to adapt it sustainably into their lifestyle. Fasting should empower, not punish. When people realize that small, intentional choices can support fasting without undoing its effects, the practice becomes much more approachable and effective. Dispelling these myths allows for a clearer, science-based understanding of fasting. It helps individuals move away from fear and toward mastery of their metabolism, learning how to make choices that align with both their body's needs and their health goals. The real success of fasting lies not in strict rules, but in the awareness of how the body responds and adapts to different inputs, and how we can use that knowledge to optimize energy, focus, and longevity naturally. To truly understand what breaks a fast and what doesn't, we must look deeper into the science behind insulin response and autophagy, the two key biological mechanisms that define whether your body remains in a fasting state. When you fast, your body experiences a shift in energy metabolism that triggers a cascade of hormonal and cellular changes designed to promote efficiency, repair, and renewal. Insulin, a storage hormone, plays a central role in this process. Its levels drop during fasting, signaling the body to switch from storing energy to burning it. This reduction in insulin not only enables fat burning, but also creates the metabolic environment that activates autophagy, the body's natural process of cleaning out damaged cells and regenerating new ones. Insulin is sensitive to what and when you eat. Even small amounts of carbohydrates or certain proteins can trigger its release. When insulin rises, the body stops breaking down fat for energy because it interprets the signal as a state of nutrient abundance. This is why maintaining low insulin levels is crucial during fasting. It's what keeps your body in a fat-burning and repair-focused mode. The degree of insulin response varies depending on what you consume. For example, pure fats like olive oil or MCT oil have minimal effect on insulin, while sugary or refined carbohydrate-based foods cause a sharp increase, disrupting the fasting state. This understanding is why some foods can technically be consumed during fasting without negating its benefits. They don't provoke an insulin surge that halts the metabolic benefits. Autophagy, on the other hand, is the cellular cleanup process that fasting enhances. When nutrients are scarce, Cells begin to recycle old or damaged proteins, removing waste material that would otherwise accumulate and lead to dysfunction. This process is essential for longevity, brain health, and protection against diseases associated with aging, such as neurodegeneration and cancer. Fasting activates autophagy by reducing insulin and mTOR signaling, mTOR being another growth pathway that responds to nutrient availability. When mTOR activity is low, autophagy is high. But the moment you eat foods that stimulate mTOR, such as those rich in amino acids, the process slows or stops. This doesn't mean you must avoid protein altogether, but during the fasting window, consuming it would interrupt the body's repair cycle. The beautiful thing about understanding insulin and autophagy is realizing how interconnected they are. Low insulin levels create an environment where autophagy thrives, while high insulin suppresses it. This balance explains why fasting is so powerful. It naturally lowers insulin and allows autophagy to perform its rejuvenating functions without interference. Over time, this cycle enhances mitochondrial efficiency, reduces oxidative stress, and improves overall cellular function. The body essentially becomes better at protecting itself from damage and aging. This science also clarifies why the quality of food after fasting matters. Breaking a fast with nutrient-dense, whole foods helps your cells rebuild stronger, while returning to processed or sugary foods quickly reverses the benefits. Fasting gives your body a biological reset, and insulin and autophagy are the levers that control that reset. Understanding how they work allows you to approach fasting not as deprivation, but as a deliberate tool to harness the body's innate intelligence for energy, health, and longevity. Choosing the right foods during fasting requires understanding how certain nutrients interact with your metabolism, hormones, and cellular processes. The goal isn't just to avoid breaking a fast. It's to select foods that work with your body rather than against it, supporting energy, focus, and fat burning without disrupting the underlying biological benefits of fasting. The best fasting-friendly foods share three important characteristics. They have a minimal effect on insulin, they don't significantly raise blood sugar, and they don't interfere with autophagy or fat metabolism. This is where science meets strategy, as the right choices can actually enhance fasting rather than hinder it. When selecting fasting-friendly foods, the first principle to understand is insulin neutrality. Foods that are primarily composed of fat, such as coconut oil, MCT oil, or a small amount of grass-fed butter, are excellent examples because they provide a clean source of energy without stimulating insulin. They help sustain mental clarity and satiety, which makes it easier to extend fasting windows comfortably. These types of foods also increase ketone production, fueling the brain with a steady and efficient energy source. In contrast, foods high in carbohydrates, even small amounts of sugar or refined starch, cause an immediate insulin spike that halts fat burning and cellular repair. That's why understanding the hormonal response to food is more important than simply counting calories. The second factor is how a food affects blood glucose stability. During fasting, your body thrives on steady energy rather than spikes and crashes. Consuming foods that keep blood sugar stable allows you to remain in a metabolic state of balance, which prevents cravings, fatigue, and irritability. For instance, small amounts of foods like avocados, olives, or nuts, particularly macadamias or almonds, are rich in monounsaturated fats and fiber, both of which slow digestion and minimize glucose fluctuations. These foods not only help maintain the fasting benefits, but also nourish your cells with essential micronutrients that support metabolism and recovery once the fast ends. Another key consideration is whether a food disrupts autophagy. Autophagy is highly sensitive to the presence of amino acids, especially those found in protein. This means that while protein is vital for rebuilding and repair after fasting, consuming it during the fasting period can prematurely stop the process of cellular cleansing. Fats, however, do not interfere with autophagy, making them the preferred option for those who practice modified fasting or intermittent fasting approaches like bulletproof coffee or fat fasting. The timing and type of food are crucial. During fasting, simplicity and metabolic neutrality are key, while nutrient-dense, protein-rich foods are best reserved for refeeding periods. Hydration also plays a role in supporting fasting-friendly choices. Electrolyte-rich drinks, such as mineral water or herbal teas, help maintain balance without breaking the fast. The absence of sugar and calories allows the body to stay in its fasting rhythm while preventing dehydration and fatigue. This is why the best fasting foods and beverages are those that enhance the body's natural processes rather than override them. The criteria for fasting-friendly foods ultimately align with the body's biology: low insulin stimulation, stable energy, and metabolic support. By understanding how each food interacts with your internal systems, fasting becomes not just a period of restriction, but a deliberate act of nourishment and optimization. Choosing wisely transforms fasting from a challenge into a sustainable, empowering practice that enhances both physical and mental resilience. When it comes to maintaining the benefits of fasting while consuming certain foods, it's essential to focus on those that have little to no impact on insulin, blood sugar, or autophagy. These foods not only preserve the fasting state, but can also enhance mental clarity, stabilize energy levels, and support cellular function. There are 5 key foods that stand out in this regard, each offering unique biochemical advantages that make them ideal companions for anyone practicing intermittent or prolonged fasting. The first is black coffee, one of the most popular fasting-friendly beverages in the world. Coffee contains virtually no calories and has a negligible effect on insulin, meaning it won't break your fast. Beyond that, it enhances fat oxidation, suppresses appetite, and increases alertness through natural caffeine stimulation. Coffee also contains powerful polyphenols that activate AMPK, a metabolic switch that mimics some of the same cellular benefits as fasting itself. This activation promotes autophagy, enhances mitochondrial function, and supports the body's natural detoxification pathways. Drinking coffee during fasting hours can therefore amplify the fasting effect, rather than diminish it, making it both practical and metabolically synergistic. The second food is green tea, which offers many of the same benefits as coffee, but with a gentler energy boost and additional antioxidants like EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG has been shown to support fat burning and protect cells from oxidative damage, while promoting the longevity-associated genes that fasting also activates. The combination of caffeine and catechins in green tea supports thermogenesis and helps the body efficiently tap into stored fat for fuel. Additionally, green tea aids hydration, which is crucial during fasting, especially when electrolytes are low. It's one of the few beverages that enhances metabolism and cellular protection while keeping insulin levels low and autophagy high. The third fasting-friendly food is MCT oil, or medium-chain triglyceride oil. Unlike other fats, MCTs are rapidly absorbed and converted into ketones by the liver, providing an instant source of clean energy without raising blood glucose or insulin levels. This makes it particularly beneficial for people who feel fatigued or mentally foggy during longer fasts. Ketones produced from MCT oil support brain function, increase endurance, and reduce hunger, allowing individuals to extend their fasting window comfortably. This metabolic stability makes MCT oil a favorite tool among those practicing intermittent fasting or ketogenic lifestyles. The fourth is apple cider vinegar, which, when diluted in water, can help regulate blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity. Although it has a small number of calories, its metabolic effects work in harmony with fasting by reducing post-meal glucose spikes and enhancing fat utilization. The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar slows gastric emptying, helping maintain steady energy and preventing the cravings or dizziness that sometimes accompany fasting. Lastly, mineral water or electrolyte-infused water is indispensable during fasting. Hydration plays a key role in maintaining metabolic balance, and consuming minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium supports nerve function and muscle performance without interfering with the fasting process. Electrolyte balance helps sustain energy, prevents fatigue, and ensures that fasting remains both safe and effective over extended periods. These 5 foods and drinks, black coffee, green tea, MCT oil, apple cider vinegar, and mineral water, work synergistically to support fasting's metabolic and cellular benefits. They keep the body nourished, energized, and balanced, while allowing the biological magic of fasting to continue uninterrupted, helping individuals achieve greater focus, resilience, and vitality throughout their fasting journey. Fasting is far more than a dietary tool. It is a form of biological empowerment that reconnects us with the body's natural intelligence. When practiced correctly, it becomes a daily act of renewal that supports physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional balance. The reason fasting has gained such profound attention in scientific and wellness communities is because of what it represents at a deeper level. A process of cellular rejuvenation, metabolic adaptation, and hormonal harmony. The motivational aspect of fasting lies not only in its results, but in the discipline and self-awareness it cultivates. It teaches the body to thrive under simplicity and teaches the mind to find strength in restraint. This isn't about deprivation, but about optimization, about giving the body the space and time to do what it was designed to do: heal, repair, and thrive. At its core, fasting activates a remarkable internal transformation. When the body transitions from feeding to fasting, it begins to rely on stored energy, tapping into fat reserves that have often gone unused for years. This shift is not just about weight management. It's about unlocking metabolic flexibility and teaching the body to run efficiently on its own fuel. This process reduces oxidative stress, enhances mitochondrial performance, and increases the production of ketones, which serve as clean energy for the brain. As the body adapts, mental clarity sharpens, inflammation decreases, and energy levels stabilize. These physiological changes are deeply motivating because they allow people to feel their vitality returning from within, without relying on stimulants or constant snacking to get through the day. Fasting also triggers powerful cellular processes that contribute to longevity. Through autophagy, old and damaged cells are broken down and replaced with new, more efficient ones. This internal recycling not only improves cellular health, but supports the prevention of chronic diseases linked to aging. Each fasting period acts as a microscopic reset, encouraging the body to prioritize repair over growth, healing over accumulation. This process is often compared to spring cleaning at the cellular level, and it helps explain why those who fast regularly often report feeling lighter, clearer, and more focused, not just physically but mentally as well. Another profound benefit of fasting lies in its hormonal recalibration. As insulin sensitivity improves, blood sugar stabilizes, and hormones like ghrelin and leptin regain their natural rhythm. This balance reduces hunger swings and cravings, empowering individuals to take control of their appetite rather than be controlled by it. The sense of freedom that comes from not being ruled by constant hunger is one of fasting's most rewarding outcomes. It restores a level of confidence and discipline that extends beyond food, influencing how people approach challenges, decisions, and even stress in their daily lives. Ultimately, fasting symbolizes the harmony between mind and body. It is a reminder that health doesn't always come from adding more, but often from taking away, removing the noise, the constant intake, and the dependency on external fuel. By embracing fasting as a mindful practice rather than a restrictive one, individuals learn to tune into their body's signals, respect their natural cycles, and reclaim the energy that modern habits have dulled. It is not just a path to physical transformation, but a journey towards self-mastery, resilience, and longevity.